Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new video. So I'm sure a lot of people have seen this video blow up recently because it's been getting quite a lot of traction in the past few days. But a YouTuber named Adrox made a video on Ava Kris Tyson labeled "This video will make you hate Kris Tyson" and was uploaded 4 days ago. Now, even though I found out about this situation because of his video, I'm not going to cover this video in particular because someone else made a video a month ago that is practically the same, but in my opinion significantly better. A YouTuber by the name of Verdius made a video called "The Degenerate History of Ava Kris Tyson." It is a 30-minute video. I'm not gonna look and watch it every clip, but if you actually want to find out more detail about this compared to the Adrox video, I recommend you watch his. And also because let's just keep this between you and me, but I think Adrox may have slightly borderline copied his entire fucking video. Anyways, there's a lot of explicit stuff to talk about in this video, specifically an artist who's gained quite a bit of notoriety from making lowly porn. Now, before I hop into that, if you're one of those people who consistently defends lowly porn and tries to argue that there's nothing wrong with the people who jerk off to drawn pictures of little kids in sexual positions, you're free to leave your comment, but preceding that, please face the wall. Anyways, this artist goes by the name of Shadman. He's a Twitter artist and has his own website where he uploads his porn, and unfortunately Shadman is not your usual degenerate piece of shit who makes content like this. He takes it so many steps forward that he epitomizes the definition of degenerate. For example, he made porn of his own mother. The only screenshots I'm going to show of his artwork are from Verdius's channel because I'm not going to look for this shit myself. I don't want to have to see it and then censor it, nor do I want to see it in general. So you might be thinking this guy is basically Chris Chan if he was an artist, but unfortunately this is not one of the worst things he's drawn by a fucking long shot. On Tumblr, Shadman had an interaction with a random person who asked him to draw Keemstar's daughter, who was 7 years old at the time, giving head to Donald Trump. Shadman replied that if Trump won the 2016 election, which he did, then he would make the drawing. He also made artwork of an 11-year-old YouTuber at the time in a sexual manner, as most people know by Lieutenant Corbus. After that, he made a drawing of a 12-year-old named Daphne Keene being beaten, and that's not even the tip of the iceberg. This is just mostly to give you an idea of who Shadman is. He's a sick, degenerate fuck who draws real children in sexual situations. And I found out who Shadman was about, I think like 3 or 4 months ago. His name was trending on Twitter because people were shitting on him for drawing lowly porn. And it wasn't even until these videos that came up that I found out that he was actually drawing real kids. Now, Shadman also has a YouTube channel. He hasn't uploaded it on in about 6 years. He mostly just rides that borderline YouTube policy bullshit and just kind of like colors in his weird safe for work porn. And after all of this that's happened recently, people have been commenting on his YouTube, calling him a degenerate and a pedophile for good reason, and there are still people defending him. One person in particular, mostly, that's just consistently replying to every comment that's insulting him. According to one of these comments as well, the website he has got deleted because he was arrested. I don't really know much about it. Someone said that he got arrested because he beat a homeless man with a pipe. I can't really say if that's true or not. I don't know anything about that, but people did confirm that he was put in jail for some short amount of time. I just think it's crazy that even dating back to a year ago, people were pointing out that this dude was drawing real children in sexual situations, and people were still defending him. Now that that's out of the way, so we know who Shadman is. Ava Kris Tyson has direct ties to Shadman, not just as like a person, but to his porn. So long after Shadman had made all of this disgusting artwork of real kids, in 2017, Kris Tyson at the time made a tweet that said, "This is coming from the guy who owns a Shad-based drawing and has it as a centerpiece in his living room," and proceeds to make another tweet with the actual drawing that he bought, where he put fidget spinners on it, replying to Shadman. Shadman had also labeled this drawing as lowly, so it was very known that this was a picture of a child. Now, I'm gonna throw Mr. Beast under the bus here as well, because at the time, Kris Tyson lived with Mr. Beast as roommates. This picture, like he said, was hanging in their living room, and there was even on a video, a short clip of that picture being shown, and Mr. Beast is in the room. Now, if this picture was hung up in, I don't know, Kris Tyson's actual room, where Mr. Beast wasn't really in control of that in the slightest, I would probably have a different argument here. But if you have it in the living room, the question of why that drawing is up there has to have come up eventually. I don't know, might just be me, but if I lived with someone, I don't think I would just walk past a picture of literal porn taped to the wall and just not even question it. I think it's a little bit fucking weird. Also, again, might, like by chance, might just be me. I don't want porn taped to my fucking living room wall. I think it's super weird, and I'm sure like at a certain point Mr. Beast has to have known about this at least to like a slight slight degree. And Verdius shows pretty solid proof of this. He even gives like perfect receipts showing what video it is tipping pizza delivery guy $10,000. At 9 minutes and 30 seconds in the video, it shows that clip of the drawing on the wall. Now, I'm not really saying that Mr. Beast is an absolute degenerate like Kris Tyson is. I just think to a degree it's mildly strange, especially when your demographic is mostly composed of a younger audience. You wouldn't really forget about that picture being on the wall, especially if you're going to be filming in that room. I know most of these are what ifs, and I'm not making big accusations or anything. I'm not saying that Mr. Beast was directly involved. I just have a feeling that he knew about it and decided to just kind of ignore it, which probably wasn't the best idea. There's another tweet. Someone made a Mr. Beast meme replying to one of Shadman's posts. It was a safer word post. It wasn't porn. And Mr. Beast replied that this is all we've ever wanted. We can quit now. So as far as I know, there is no direct tie to Mr. Beast and Shadman, nor is there a direct tie to him knowing that Kris Tyson at the time was talking to Shadman and engaging in all this weird, creepy shit. But it still does make me question if there ever was an interaction to that picture being on the wall, and if there was, how did that interaction go? In other words, I'm not accusing Mr. Beast of anything. I don't think he's a fucking freak like Kris Tyson is. I just think he probably knew to a degree and just didn't want to get involved. No, that was just a speculation segment. I just wanted to kind of get past that. Regardless, that wasn't the end of Kris Tyson's tweets, because in another tweet, someone made an incest graphic porn of Mabel and Dipper from Gravity Falls, and Kris Tyson replied, they're twins, so at that point it's just masturbation, right? Now, Verdius also leaves links to all of these comments that Kris Tyson made. If you click on those links, they're pretty much all gone. They don't exist anymore. Kris Tyson deleted them all. So if you do happen to click on the link and look for Kris Tyson's replies, you're not gonna find it. You're just gonna be left with a cesspool of degenerates jerking each other off. Now, this next one, Verdius goes into much more detail about it. If you do want to see it, watch his video. I do recommend it because it gets pretty fucked, but it gives you a pretty good deal of context. But I'll kind of dumb this one down. Shadman made a comic of a family eating dinner with spaghetti and Tide Pods in it. At the end of the comic, the mother just molests her son. Kris Tyson had made a reply to Shadman. This wasn't on Twitter, so it was just a tweet in of itself, saying, peep my favorite snack in the spaghetti. So I think that's a pretty specific joke to make, so I don't think it's even remotely far-fetched to say that is directly correlated with that comic. And knowing Shadman's fan base, there's probably someone that would argue that there's no correlation here legally, and that it could just be an innocent joke, but I mean, like, let's be fucking real here. Now, moving on to the next one. Someone made a tweet linking Shadman's website, saying, remember this when growing up? Me too. Check it out. And it says, Caillou gets a timeout. And I think it's pretty obvious what this is implying. And Kris Tyson replies, help, I need an adult. Like, don't forget, this man was in a relationship at the time. I don't understand how you could be saying shit like this, just, I mean, obviously in general, but even so in a relationship, I feel like if my girlfriend caught me saying something like this, she'd beat me to death. This was public too, for fuck's sake. Now, in another interaction, shocker, Kris Tyson is doing a live stream and somehow accidentally pulls up Shadman's website. At the time he clips this and comments, shout to Shadbase for having safe for work drawings today. Accidentally pulled up his website on stream. Now, this might be surprising and a bit of a crazy shocker, but there's still more interactions. So Shadman makes another tweet and says, what is this and why do people keep sending me this? There's an anime called Rising of the Shield Hero. This character can turn into a 10-year-old girl. He posts a picture of this 10-year-old version of this girl, where Kris Tyson replies, please Shad, please. That's pretty much a majority of Kris Tyson's tweets covered. If you want to see pretty much the extent of every tweet, watch Verdius' video. I highly recommend it. He gives the most accurate information, and I completely credit him for the idea of this video because of that. Now, concluding most of that, there's a lot of people who would likely support Kris Tyson through this, despite having ties with such a fucking freak, and obviously being one herself. But hopefully most people have the reaction of, I don't know, being fucking repulsed. I think it's like super obvious that Tyson has a massive porn addiction. Like, that's not even a joke or an exaggeration. If you get to the point of asking an artist publicly to make hentai of a 10-year-old, there is no fucking saving you. Regardless of that, I think when this blows up a little bit more, this is gonna bite Mr. Beast in the ass. I think people are gonna start questioning him about this, and they're specifically gonna question him about that poster in the living room. Regardless, that's all I got, to be honest. If you guys enjoyed, thank you for watching, and come back for the next.